So you found this property in the perfect location, but there's a catch. It needs serious work. Should you go for it or run the other way? Let's talk about what buying a fixer-upper really means for you as an investor. I'm Aguinaga, a Montreal real estate expert who's been navigating this market for more than 16 years. Over the years, I've worked with every kind of property you can imagine, from brand new to major fixer-uppers and even gut jobs. And today, I'm here to help you decide if taking on a fixer-upper is the right move for your investment strategy. In this video, we're going to break down what a fixer-upper really is, the pros and cons, key factors to consider, and what your end goal should look like, so you can confidently decide if this route is right for you. Let's start by defining what a fixer-upper is. A fixer-upper is a property that requires significant renovations but has the potential for increased value. Why do they appeal to investors? You might ask, well, they're usually available for a lower price. They provide the opportunity to customize and typically have a greater return potential due to the value creation generated by the renovation. Let's do a deep dive on the pros and cons of fixer-uppers, starting with the pros. First up, they require lower initial costs. This is great if you're planning on doing things in phases or want to lock up the property in your dream neighborhood but aren't ready to move in yet. You can purchase a property for less than the neighbors simply to ensure your spot in the neighborhood. Second, by spending less upfront, you give yourself a better chance of building equity quickly. Once you start doing the work, there's a good chance that the end value will be higher than the sum of the investment. This is because most buyers will pay a premium for a finished product. Not everyone has the eye nor the patience to take on a renovation project. This is where you get paid for your skills and patience. Third on the pros, we have the ability to customize. Have you ever dreamt of having a separate bath and shower or maybe heated floors in your kitchen? Well, guess what? When you're doing the renovations, you get to choose which upgrades to add in your home. Trust me, having renovated my home entirely before moving in, some of these upgrades truly are some of life's greatest pleasures. Fourth, as mentioned, most buyers are overwhelmed by the idea of doing work, and thus there is less competition. This is what gives you the chance to secure a great deal. Fifth on the list of pros, the tax benefits. Seeing as we're discussing buying a fixer-upper for you to occupy, then the property should be eligible for the principal residence capital gains exemption. This means that your eventual profits will be tax-free. Now, like with anything, there are obviously some cons as well. First, the most common issue with renovation projects is unexpected costs. You budget one amount, and finally, when all is said and done, there are overruns and the final cost is a lot higher than you expected. This could eat up into your profits and put you in a financial pinch. Next, time commitment. While you are creating equity, you're realistically investing time into making this happen. A good renovation project will require you to be on site weekly and sometimes even daily. Be sure you allot the appropriate amount of time for the project. Third, financing difficulties. Depending on the condition of the property, some banks may not want to finance it. If the property has already been stripped down to the studs, banks will not want to touch it. You'll have to go with an alternative lender. This could be a private lender or possibly a B lender. The sweet spot is a property that is still livable but looks like it's from a time machine. It'll benefit the most from the upgrades while keeping the banks at bay. Fourth, with all of these moving parts, there's a good chance you'll deal with some added stress during the period while managing the renovations. This is totally normal. Don't fret. The best way to mitigate this is by having a solid plan in place and lots of contingencies. Go into the project knowing that there will be delays and that there will likely be some cost overruns. Keep an open mind and roll with the punches. Like with anything, it takes practice to get good at this. Fifth, finally, if you're renovating a multifamily property, then keep in mind that you might not have any rental income during the renovations. Make sure you budget this in your calculations. Now that we've covered the pros and cons, here are a few key factors to consider before buying. First up, location/market analysis. You need to know your location and how the market is trending in that location. Check out my video on neighborhood growth potential for more information on this. Don't forget the old saying, location, location, location. Second, budget. Make sure you triple check your budget and leave room for contingencies. This is where I see most first-time renovators make mistakes. They get rough quotes for the work and realize they forgot things like architect fees, permit fees, and the cost of borrowing, etc. I recommend you have an experienced investor review your budget to give you some feedback on it. Third up, legal and zoning regulations. Make sure you carve out some time in your due diligence process to understand all the legal and zoning requirements. I was recently preparing for a listing and went to the city to find out what a developer would be able to build on this lot. The property in question is a corner lot, which led us to believe that it would be more desirable. After a meeting with the city, we found out that we would require to have a front setback from the property line of 7.5 meters facing both streets, effectively reducing the size of the property we'd be able to build in it. You always have to verify everything with the city before you commit to the project. Fourth, financing options. We spoke about these a bit earlier in the video. There are several different ways of financing these properties. They all come with their own pros and cons. Be sure to understand the different options and the prepayment penalties that may be associated with them. Just because one institution is offering you a better rate doesn't mean it's the best bank for the project. When you're doing a large renovation, you're looking for flexibility. The institution that is offering more flexible terms will typically be better than the one with the best rate. Lastly, like with any real estate purchase, the inspection is critical. I can't stress this enough. You need to know what's hiding under the proverbial hood of the property. Will you have to do major structural or foundation work? Are we able to keep the work to be only aesthetic? These subtle differences will make a huge difference in your budgets and timelines. The last thing I want to discuss before wrapping up this video is the long-term vision for the property. What is the end goal for you as an investor or as a property owner? Do you plan on making this your forever home? Do you want to flip the home in a few years for a profit and do this all over again? Are you looking to live in it for a year and then rent it out? All of these variables will play a large role in how you go about the renovations. Before concluding this video, let me give you a personal tip. When you're buying a fixer-upper, consider properties with high curb appeal potential. Small changes to the exterior can have a huge impact on the value. So, have you ever considered buying a fixer-upper, or is this the first time you're thinking about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts or answer any questions you have, so drop a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're serious about growing your real estate portfolio. With every video, I'll be here to guide you through the big decisions and the small details that make all the difference. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you next week.